Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm really excited about this video. I finally did it. I broke down and I bought myself a welder. With a little bit of research, I looked around, and for the price, the Lincoln Electric LE31MP was a good fit, giving me the opportunity to learn MIG, stick, and TIG welding. It's considered a multi-process welder and will go with any 20 amp outlet that you have in your house. I didn't want to go over that. Some welders, they need some pretty powerful draw to where I just wanted to be able to plug it in and do as much as it was capable of. This one goes up to 5/16 of an inch, and actually looked around my house to find anything thicker than that and didn't come up with much. Basically, the big project that I want to tackle is the rocker panels in my van have rotted out, and I've wanted to repair them for a long time now, so that kind of stop that cancer from taking out the bottom of the van. This is going to give me the opportunity to get into that and repair it. If you're tuning in and you have ever thought about buying a welder or getting into welding, we're starting out very same spot. I've never set the dials, and I've never put spool in. This is a new experience for me altogether. Wanted to do it for years and found out that this was going to be a good fit, and just broke down, and I ventured out really because lumber is so expensive that I'm trying to keep myself busy, and working on my van and my car have been the only opportunities to really keep myself out of trouble. So I kind of wanted to include you guys on this and bring you in on the unboxing of everything, see what actually does come with this entire setup. So let's get into it. Let's unbox, and we'll see if we can get this spooled up and maybe make some tack welds. So let's get at it. Alright, well, let's open her up, see what we got. Alright, so I'll just lift this out. That's the whole unit right here. Alright. Manual. Ooh. Wires. That's for stick. Looks like your regulator. And that's it. Okay, so you get your regulator. Now I know there's wire, supposed to be wire. Here's your wire. They pack this in here like this. What do we got here? Okay, that's your ground. You got a whole spool of, this is flux cord wire, and this is your mild steel MIG wire it comes with, and this needs gas. Yeah, this one needs gas, and this one I don't think does, yeah. Bunch of tips for the gun. This is some kind of screw cap. That's your ground. Screw tips for the
tips for the gun. Okay, here's your MIG gun. This is your wire. This is a gas line. Kind of wondering where the ground wire is. Normal household plug on the back. And we should be getting into spooling that at some point. I have to read the directions to see where ground wire is. They should have included that. And it looks like there's a little work on it. So basically what I pulled out of the box is sitting here. Your MIG gun, this is your cable. This looks like a gas line of some sort, probably for the regulator to your bottle, which I don't have that yet. I'm just not going to start out with adding gas to it. Instructions, stick connection, your ground, spools of wire, regulator, and it's a cap or something, and your nozzle ends. So I'm going to get into the instructions and we'll see how to set all this up. See if any of this paperwork is important, and see if we can get this set up, spooled up, and get ready to tack weld some things. Alright, so at a quick glance, I thought I was without a work cable for the clamp. These two cables being together, so I definitely have what I need now. This is for that, and basically I guess what you have to do, got a long enough cable, I'll get you over here, weave this through here and get that clamped on right there, and then you'll have your ground. That's the first thing I was worried about as far as getting started. If you can't ground to your project, you're not going to be able to weld nothing. So now, got that clamp all ready to go. And I think this should be pretty straightforward as far as plugging it into the machine. Oh boy, how's it go? Okay, this is why they have instructions. Okay, so getting your cable connected to your ground clamp, one of the first steps, and then you'll want to move on to inserting your MIG gun connection. And your first thought would be to push this straight in, and you'll be met with a little bit of resistance. They do have this screw right here. Basically on here, this screw is going to hold this connection in place so that it won't pull out while you're working. I'm sure with the wire spooled through here,
it would be quite a situation if this was to come undone with the wire in there and everything with it charged. So what they did was they put this screw in there so that it would secure it and you wouldn't be able to pull. And I'm guessing that this is how the gas is delivered. It seems like there's a little vent and two prongs. You can see those two prongs. These prongs go up and will be put onto the front here. See? Prongs up. Take your time and make sure you don't break that off, because that would be probably really bad. Looks like this unscrews, like maybe you could replace these if you broke them. I'm not too sure about that, but then I would think your cable pointed down, push that straight in, and if we could bring this over, hopefully I could fit my hand back there. Yep, spin that right back on. And that's going to secure your connection for your MIG gun. You have a chart up here that says basically MIG, gas, no gas. I'm going to be running no gas. So my fixed line, and which I wanted to show you too, is if when you're storing this, they actually did make a little pocket right there so that it can store neatly inside here and this isn't getting snagged on anything. I thought that was pretty neat, so that this isn't getting messed up if it's around the workshop. So if I'm running no gas, I'm going to run it into the negative, which is going to be your first one closest to it connection wise, and then your ground would go straight into this one, and it changes the ground and the fixed cable here would switch if you're running gas at that point. TIG and stick, definitely a different setup. It's nice that they gave you this chart on the inside. What we're going to get into now is running the spool on the gun, which right here you have a little wing nut. Get that out. And there's a little plastic washer. This is for your, I think they're 11 pound spools. I guess this can set right into the box itself, and you're just going to need this plastic like washer and the wing nut to put it on. Basically this right here, make sure you're careful because this wants to just jump out. So then putting the spool on, see, definitely wants to just jump out. So holding that there, this has a little notch in it for this bolt here, and then you're going to run the wing nut on. Not too tight because you want this to be able to roll around, and you're going to find this spring right here. Pull it back. So you're basically running this up and over, which I always think to myself, they're going to put the advertisement on the side they want you to see. So even on saw blades, stuff like that, I paid attention to that. They never print anything on the side you're going to bury. They want you to see everything. So basically at this point, you're going to turn this black screw top down, up, all the way up.
and this is going to release this. There's an arm that comes down, and that's going to let you push this wire through and get it to where it needs to go. You want to make sure that you have a clean end on the wire so that when you're pushing this through, it's not getting snagged on anything. So let me see if I can feed this. Oh. To where I can see it. There we go. So I got my wire through both of those connections. The wheel come back down, and it looked like most people were setting it to 2 or 3 setting for the 0.035. So that's on 2 now. Screw it down to about 3. And there you go. Should be on 3 now. 3. And you want to make sure you don't click this switch up top. If you can see that, I can bring it in. There's a switch up top here. If you have a spool gun, or I guess that's for something else, but your MIG, definitely you want to have this clicked upwards. Everything should be pretty good to go. Wires ran the same way, or the way it should be going. There's a switch on the back to power it on. And put that down. In front, we're going to be on wire. Our speed right now is there. You can take your nozzle off of this. This is supposed to say 0.35, so that nozzle is already for the gasless wire, the flux core. Now if you push this trigger, should be pulling it, and what you can do is you can increase the speed all the way to 10. It'll bring this through the line just a little bit faster. It's going to take a minute. I don't know if I can really feel that going through there. It does take a minute, and there it is. So what somebody showed me online was, should be able to take your nozzle, put it back on, and if you have enough tension, you should be able to curl. I don't think I have. Let me try clipping it. Let's try 2. Maybe because it's a new machine, it's, yeah, maybe increase it a little bit. I'm learning just like everybody else, huh? Maybe just a little more. Looks like it's having a little problem going through the gun. Probably try there. And it says with this, should be anywhere from 3/8 to a 1/2 inch from the tip, from this metal tip here, the silver, to the contact distance of the work surface. This is a pretty neat diagram that they add to. I'm at the point where we got the wire on, everything's ran through, everything's connected the way it should be. The speed maybe needs to be turned down. That's the thing I need to check with next, the speed and basically what's setting here
I should be setting to the project I have, which I have a grade 8 bolt to the, I guess, motor mount to the car. I want to make a little bit of tack weld so that the nut doesn't come loose off of the bolt that's going through it. For right now, I think I'm good with how I have it set up for tonight. I'm going to get on it in the morning. I'm going to do a little bit of reading, see where I should be set with this for the project that I got, and see if I can get a couple tack welds in the morning. It just rained. I hope a lot of that's dried up by the time I get around to this. But I mean, as far as the setup, I should be good now. When you're changing the wire, I mean, they gave you wire you can use with gas, and actually hooking up a bottle, I'm not there yet. This is a good first step. So right now, I'm going to go do a little reading on how they set these things and where I should be at, and maybe do a little test run tomorrow before actually going underneath the car and trying to make these tacks. But I'll show you the project that I got into over the weekend. Really didn't get into making a video. I'm not a mechanic, but I did follow a lot of YouTube videos, and I was able to do a lot of work on the underneath of my car, and I'm excited to show you about that. But definitely had a problem getting one bolt out. Had to cut it, and definitely have to improvise on making it to where it's safe to drive down the road, but we'll get at that tomorrow. Alright, so it's the next morning. I've been waiting for the rain to pretty much dry up all day, and then it just started to rain a little bit more. Found out what this extra wire is for. It's your stick weld here. Basically take the screw off the bottom right there, and there's another screw that holds a plate on right there, and your wire is going to be sandwiched in between these two. So you put that in between there. Actually, you got to run plastic cover through first, then this. Make sure that's in there properly. Use the bigger screw. Tighten this down. Bring this on and tighten this small set screw on your stick welder. Find the hole. There we go. And then that's a set. That's got some tension to pinch the stick right there, and you'll be welding with that. You'll need this and the ground. We'll get into that at some point. Basically, I was looking at what I would need to set the machine for, and this is a pretty good guide to where the capabilities of this machine. So you just figure out what wire you're running, and this will be right here. That's my non-gas steel self-shielded NR211MP DC negative, and then the thickness is the 35. So your 3 are blank right here, and your first setting at 18 gauge would be a B2 setting. I'm looking right around here, I think 1/8 of an inch right here. I set it at D3, which is the middle setting. I'm going to make a couple hits with that, and then I'll see how that does. If I need to tweak it a little bit, I'll do that at the time I figure if it's good or not. But figure that's like the middle of the road right now, and just see how it hits on that metal. But I want to go get set up outside and show you actually what I want to tack weld and what I did to underneath of the car, and maybe show you the rocker panels I have to cut out as soon as it stops raining. Well, here's all the parts that I took off, this being the hub and bearing assemblies right here, the tie rods, lower and upper control arms. Take you over the inside of the car, show you if the light's good. That's upper control arm, new tie rod, new boots. We got the hub and wheel assembly, that's all on. I didn't do brakes or rotors, they were in good shape, but you can see the lower control arm right there. And I painted up the strut forks just to make them look a little new, but everything went back together pretty well. This side didn't give me too much trouble, but the driver's side, the lower control arm underneath here, you can see right there, this bolt here I actually had to cut right there and right there because the portion on this side of the mount sheared off, and I had to buy a brand new bolt with a nut, which is right there. And I want to give that a little tack weld. I have some red thread locker on it, but I'm just going to hit it. But the one thing I do need to do is sand that area, get it down to bare metal, and prep it a little bit before I tack it on. And I should be ready to go. All this is done. It's just giving that tack, and we're going to go take it for an alignment, and I should be good to go. Alright, as you can see, I got that all sanded up. Time to make a little tack weld. I got it grounded right on the frame. Hopefully that's a good ground. I'm going to try to make some tack welds right now. Let's see. Oh, gotta go get welding gloves. Alright, that's better. One second.
Looks good. So I'll hit the top a little bit and be ready to paint it. Good deal. Wow, no sooner did I get the welder in and the car down on the ground, it starts to rain. So I had just that narrow window to get under there, tack weld that, and get her done. Couldn't have picked a harder spot to try to do my first weld, but that was literally the first time I've ever, put a welding helmet on and basically tacked anything. So I think that nut's not going to go anywhere. I'm confident that the vibration on the road isn't going to separate that bolt from that nut now. I got red thread locker in it too. Basically, when I was taking it apart, this was the piece on the other side of the mount for the lower control arm, and as soon as I pried up on that bolt with a breaker bar, all these welds from the factory just gave way. So I knew I was going to have it tack welded. I was thinking about, just going over a friend's house. I know like a lot of people that have welders. I thought it's time for me to get one. Definitely happy with this one. The settings that I chose, maybe I could have tinkered around with them a little bit. I like the speed of it and the intensity of it. So now it's just getting into maybe stick welding and TIG welding a little bit here and there, and practicing with MIG. My rocker panels on my van are going to be one of the biggest projects. As you can see, they are completely rotted through and letting a lot of weather in, and I'm concerned about them. And I definitely want to price some rocker panels, get them here, figure out how I'm going to make that cut off the truck and sister that piece in. Got a welder now, I can tack it in, get it done. For today, big thing is going to get that alignment done. I think I'm done. I feel very accomplished for the day, overjoyed that now I have the capability of welding things when I need to. Things like this are going to come up. I remember something as stupid as the bagger for my lawnmower broke. Needed a couple tack welds to put that crossbar back on, and I had to take it to a family function to have a friend tack weld it on for me. He had to stop what he was doing, but he was more than happy to do it, and I was like, every time I cut the grass I think of you, buddy. Now it bags. So for right now, this is going to be the end of this video. I will say though, if you are getting underneath that car and replacing any of these parts, your best friend is going to be penetrating oil, like calloused or whatever you call it. I made the mistake of trying probably to go too early. If you let that stuff set for 24 hours or more, you're doing yourself a solid, because I maybe let it do a couple hours, if not half a day, and just wasn't ready. Basically making sure everything's greased up there, torqued down to spec. I didn't really want to get into doing a video on the underneath that car because I just took my time with it, and I know anytime I have a project, like when I videotape, it's going to be adding to the time that's going to take to the job, and that was a very large undertaking, doing the underneath. Basically I have a whole new front end on this 05 Honda Accord. If I can get another 50,000 miles out of it, I'll be good. We're at 200,000. Things needed to be replaced. So as for now, I'm going to start thinking of some good videos to get into. This one was definitely the fun one. I'm ready to do some more welding. But for now, if you can like, subscribe, I'll be back. I got more stuff to do.